So let's talk about the Evoking Sound choral series. I think this series is almost 20 years old, and when we conceived of the series, there were three major components of the series. One, to publish works by new composers. Two, to do editions of standard canon choral literature. These pieces that one would build an entire choral curriculum on, basically. They are pieces that are not only classical standard choral rep, but they're pieces that either aren't known in the rep or have fallen out of disrepute, or they're too expensive in European editions. So we have done new editions of those pieces. And the third category supports all of the work I've been doing, applying the learning theory of Edwin Gordon to the choral rehearsal. So they're solfege editions, using a harmonic immersion solfege, which is a solfege system that reduces the need to read music, and it functions within the harmonic context of rehearsal. That means the choral members learn their part by singing with other parts. You never rehearse a part alone. That's a longer discussion, but the strength of the series is these three components: the new composers, the new editions, fresh editions of what I consider to be pieces that are essential to the building of a choral curriculum. And then the third component is obviously the solfege editions. Then there are two series that are ancillary to this. There's the Westminster series, edited by Joe Miller, and those are pieces that again are either commissioned for a choir at Westminster or people that he has pursued to write pieces. And then there's the Music for Young Voices series, which I think no one knows about. It is primarily middle school and elementary, edited by Tom Shelton, and many of you will know Tom Shelton as the current president of ACDA. Tom's expertise in middle school choral music is almost unparalleled. I mean, there are maybe about 8 other people or 10 other people in the country that have his expertise. But as a composer, he brings a very specific educational viewpoint that straddles both music education and sacred music, what works in churches, what works for children's choirs. So I think the entire package is incredibly valuable as a resource for choral conductors. When I started in this business, one of the things that was important to me was resources. The most valuable list I ever got was from William Trigo at Princeton High School, who taught a course in high school choral literature. It was a list of only classically related pieces. That list formed the essential component of my high school choirs, which went to sing on ACDA conventions. It's how I built a high school choir, and that list, many of those pieces are now in this series because I couldn't get them. It was a problem getting them. So I've tried to fill a need. It's also things that I believe develop choral sound. All of the pieces in Evoking Sound, I think, have particularly unique choral colors and choral textures, especially the pieces by the composers that have submitted pieces. I have pieces that I just adore. So that's the essence of the series. One of the composers I want to talk about, the vibrant young conductors, is Thomas Lavoie. Tom is finishing a PhD in composition. In fact, probably as we speak, he's done. Tom was a member of my Williamson Voices choir, and he's a member of our family. He is a member of the same Stream Choir, which is a professional choir composed of Williamson Voices people. Tom has an unbelievably unique voice. Honest, he chooses incredibly meaningful poetry that is reflected in every note he writes. he launched his career early. He started writing at 17, and he's matured as a composer to this point, and I imagine the years to come he'll mature more. I've recorded a lot of his music. I performed it all. I think it is some of the most relevant human messages for choirs, not to mention the incredible beauty of what he writes. Songs of the Questioner is a major piece, 3 movements with piano, that is a challenge for any choir. The 3rd movement can be done by any choir. So the first 2 movements are somewhat virtuosic, but doable. The 3rd movement can be almost done by any choir. The Dream I Knew, this piece, I can't say enough about the piece and the text. The texture is 8-part at times. I would say that it is moderate to difficult, but the issue is that it sings extremely well. It just sings. Somebody once said to me, how do you know a piece is good? When your choir reads it the first day and there's no bumps or grinds. Dream I Knew was written for the Choral Institute at Oxford and the conductors. It's one of my favorite pieces. Salvator Mundi was written for the Pennsbury High School Choir, chamber choir, conducted by James Moyer. This simple piece is one of the more stunning pieces of the repertoire that I think I would put it in the same house as Lauritz and O Magnum Mysterium, the Ole Ilo Spheres, the Ole Ilo Ubi Caritas, the Essenwalds pieces. It's in that world. It's only 4 parts, and so thereby it's doable by just about any choir, be it church, public school, college. It's an incredible piece. Peter Ralph, I met as a member of the University of Aberdeen Chamber Choir in Scotland when I was guest conducting there. Peter went on to Cambridge for a degree in composition and is presently pursuing a PhD in composition. I stumbled onto Peter's music because basically I said, "So you write music?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Send me some." It is a sound world that we really don't know in this country yet. If I had to describe it, and that this is not say that any copies anything, but if you would combine the world of Morton Lauritsen with Eric Whittaker, with Ola Yilo, and then add some Adams phasing techniques, it is the most stunning music that one could do with a choir. My choirs adore every piece. I would say the pieces like Ave Redemptor and O Sapientia are doable by any level of choir. They're for 8 voices, but they're simple 8 voices. Tenebrae Lumini is 8 parts, but really stunning 8 parts. Orex Genitum is a new piece that is coming out again in this double choir answering. Almost polychoral, but not. It's phased. So I've used the pieces around the room to open up concerts, and they're very effective. Anthony Bernaducci is a graduate of Westminster Choir College. He is now Assistant or Associate Director of Choral Activities at Clemson. He is a student of Andre Thomas and the whole Florida State incredible music education faculty. He is an educator, musician, conductor par excellence. He's new on the choral scene. I will tell you how I found out about Anthony Bernaducci and his choral writing. I heard the St. Olaf Choir singing it, and I never knew Anthony wrote anything. So I said, Anthony, why don't you send me some pieces? He just wrote for me in my 25th anniversary of Westminster a Kyrie from a larger work he's working on, the Missa Breve San Francisco de Assisi. And it is simple, it is direct. This is another one of those pieces that is so honest and moving and is doable by most choirs. It's just really incredible. I guess what I want people to know is that this series reflects a lot of my personal beliefs on the level of choral literature that we should be singing in the schools and colleges. And I'm not saying that what we do in colleges is bad. I'm just saying we're always on the search for good literature. This series is, if you take the time to explore it on the website, is a wealth of performance material like you would not believe. It has nourished my own choir at Westminster, both of them, the Schola Cantorum and the Williamson Voices. Someone once said to me, how do you pick a piece of literature? This was William Trigo, who taught at Princeton High School. So I was 23 years old when I heard this. And I said, how do you pick music for your choir that they will love? And he says, you never pick a piece that won't change their lives. So I think the bottom line in this for me in picking music, the bottom litmus test is, will this piece change the life of my choir? If it passes that litmus test, then it's published. And I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of about the series. So I hope everybody will really start taking a really serious look at not only the pieces, but these incredible people that are writing. There are other composers I haven't talked about. There's Roger Ames. There's Jackson Hill, who also composes for Chanticleer. There's Steve Pilkington. There's just so many composers. So I beg you to look at it, and more will be coming. We have, I think, 15 more incredible pieces in print. So I hope you enjoy looking at the series. Thanks.